Hello and welcome! Today we are going to be putting a border around our shooting star quilt. To see how we got to this point, please check out the previous videos in this series. We need 24 of the star point unit. To see how this is made, please see chapter 3 in this series. We need 48 3-inch white squares. Next we're going to make 24 3-inch half square triangles and 4 5.5-inch half square triangles for the corners. And now it is time for the dreaded half square triangles. I know several quilters and I have never heard one say, "Oh, this is my favorite thing to do." But it's in so many things, it's a necessary chore to get the results that you want. I've tried several different methods of making them and I keep coming back to this method because sometimes the shortcuts end up taking you more time. For example, I tried making half square triangles using this paper foundation method, and peeling the paper took longer than it would have taken me to square them. There are no shortcuts. Enjoy the process. Alrighty, on the border blocks, here's where I'm at right now. I have 48 remaining squares for the blocks. I have 24 of these made, and I have a couple of strips I might need more. I have these set aside cut-offs from this. And now it's time to tackle the half square triangles. So I need 24 total. I'm going to do 12 blue and 12 brown, and the math, the equation on these is each square does 2 half square triangles. I'm going to cut them down to 3 inches, and I add 3/4 of an inch to the size that I want to cut it down to. So I'm going to cut 6 3 3/4 inch squares from the blue, 3 3/4 inch squares from the brown, 12 3 3/4 inch squares from the white, and then I think I'm going to do all of the corners in this blue because I like the blue. So all the corners I'm going to do in blue, and I want that to cut down to 5.5 inches. I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch, which means I'm going to cut 2 6.25 inch square of the blue, and I'm going to cut 2 6.25 inch square of the white. All my squares are cut, and we're going to line these up right sides together. Normally I'm pretty bare bones and don't have to have all the fancy rulers and tools, but I really like this Creative Grids quarter marking tool. You line it up, go corner to corner, line that middle part up with the corner, and you sew along those 2 lines, and when you cut in the middle, that gives you the 1/4 inch. The other way you could do this, and I've also done this many times as well, and that is you can make 1 line in the middle, just from corner to corner, and you can sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that line. Either way is fine. Once I found this Creative Grids tool, I found I really like it, and super quick to just mark the 2. And then I also find I'm more accurate with my seam allowances when I use this, but it certainly isn't the most necessary thing. Definitely worth looking into if you know you're going to make thousands of these in your lifetime. Alright, these are sewn down on both sides, and the next step is to cut them in half and iron them open. Alrighty, Quilted Bear rulers. I love your product. I have one formal complaint, and that is that you do not have a center line on the diagonal. And so I just take a Sharpie and I mark one myself, and eventually it fades, and then I keep remarking it because I need it. I do love these rulers. They're nice and thick, and the lines are holding up really, really well. These lines are nice and thin. My only complaint is I do rely on that center line. The reason I cut these squares at 3 3/4 is because I want a little extra wiggle room when I'm squaring them. And I find I'm just far more accurate if I just cut them, make them too big, and square them down. Okay, this one is right in the corner. Now I'm going to take this, turn it this way, and square it to 3 inches. This line is at the corner. I'm at 3 here. I'm at 3 here. And it's nice to have that little bit of extra wiggle room. And ta-da! The next step is to seam these 3 squares together. So I have these pieced together. Next step is to seam a white strip on top of that, and then the blue strip, like this. I'm going to salvage these cutoffs from this piece. And you'll see I have this folded down. I'm going to put this, line this up like that, give myself about 1/4 inch, and then seam from here to here. And then when I fold it back, it'll look like this. Then the next step is to seam this from here to here. My border blocks are done. I'm laying them out with doing the long edges first, and then I'll do the top and bottom edge with the corner. Both of the side borders are attached. Now to attach the top and the bottom. Our quilt top is now done! In our next video, we will be pinning the top to the back to prepare it for free motion quilting. Please be on the lookout for that video. It will be riveting. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.